What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. It's a panel show. We haven't done one of these in a while, and we have got a star-studded panel for you guys today. We've got Mr. Deluded himself, Danny Kiriakou. How are we doing, bro?
Yeah, he stole my title.
Yeah, I'm good, man. Apart from
Danny calls people deluded. Good. You are deluded, Ariane.
We've got the deluded versus the even more deluded today.
You good though, Danny?
Delusionals. Yeah, I'm good. Apart from a bit ill, I'm good. I'm looking forward to this show today.
Bit of Spurs flu you got.
Yeah, Spurs flu, exactly that.
There's a lot
comes
of
and goes often. Yeah.
I think it's just a constant. I think you just always got it.
It's hiding beneath the surface.
Exactly, and it just rears its ugly head every so often, or quite often.
Every weekend.
Yeah.
Ariane, good to have you back. How you doing, bro?
Really, really good. I'm happy to be back on. It's been a while since I've been on the fan shows, so it's good to be talking to you guys.
I know. I think the last time you came on the fan show, Spurs were actually like top 5, top 6. Spurs were doing.
Yeah, we were decent.
Yeah.
Things were going swimmingly.
We thought we were decent.
Yeah, not so much anymore.
It's okay because the November curse is broken. It was just November. It was just another November, guys.
See.
It's all right.
So you're more positive. You're more positive heading into December then. Brentford at home next.
You'd hope, but like, I don't know. But honestly, I always feel like November's just shit no matter what happens anyway.
Yeah.
Like it's just like miraculously shit. I don't know what it is.
There's
it's because there's more games. There's more opportunity for us to be shit, so you see it more.
Is that? I don't. It can't only be that because December would be equally bad, but November is always like its own league of terrible every time.
It's so true. Yeah, it's because the freshness of the new season wears off by November. Then we really start to settle into how.
Yeah, have you seen that? It's like that Paddy Power clip. It's like, yeah, rest of the league shat themselves. Now we're now we're done.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's been a lot of debate and discussion on social media through various Spurs accounts and also just general Spurs fans in person as well. It's just like want to get to the bottom of it. Like, what is the main issue at this moment in time in the season? Because
also a lot of WhatsApps.
Yeah, a lot of WhatsApps.
A lot of WhatsApps.
Mainly Danny Kiriakou. But obviously we've won one. Our last win was against Everton away in October, which is crazy.
We didn't win a single game in November.
Not in the league. We won in the Champions League against Copenhagen.
Jesus.
And that's it, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. So we've had 2 wins since that. So Everton and Copenhagen. We haven't won a game since. We've looked pretty bad in every single game. I just want to get to the bottom of this.
No, we've not.
No, we've not. What?
Man United. I think we played well against Man United.
Did we?
Yeah.
Though?
Yeah, we did.
We did for about 10 minutes.
We should have won.
I thought we were slightly better than Man United in that game, but probably a draw was a fair reflection.
Nah.
What is the real problem at Spurs? Is it the players? Is it the manager? Is it what's going on here? What's that player? I'm going to start with you, Ariane, and maybe can spark a bit of a debate.
It's definitely more the players than the manager. And that's not to say that the manager's not at any fault. Like, obviously, there are things that Frank could be doing better. And because here's the thing, right? At the end of the day, Frank and his backroom staff were at Spurs. This was a coaching staff that was so potent, especially going forward. Like, this is the thing. Frank, you could say he doesn't play front foot football, but it wasn't this way where it looks like the attackers are clueless. They can't find the goal, right? Like Mbeumo, Tony, Wissa. These were some of the most potent, dangerous attackers in the league, despite the fact that maybe they weren't playing possession football. So on the transition, they were so dangerous that I really can't subscribe to the belief that Frank can't coach an attack. And I don't think that's what's happening here. I think ultimately our attackers are bad. And the only one that's not is Kudus, who has actually looked like the best version of Kudus ever. Like, out of all of the Kuduses we've seen at Ajax and at West Ham, the one at Spurs, especially at the beginning before he was ran into the floor, was the best Kudus we've seen ever, right? So I think he's able to coach players that's got have something about them. Kudus has the physicality, he has the technical ability. He's not very dissimilar to a player like Mbeumo, and I think we're getting results similar to that out of him. But a player like Odobert is getting better, but ultimately he's way farther off the mark. He's not as physical, he's not as quick, and he has the odd moment here, and he had that really good cameo against Man United. Same with Tell, kind of a moments player. I think he's better than kind of like the likes of Richarlison, but not much, and he doesn't have much to work with. Again, maybe down the line he'll be a better player. And we've had, and Kolomwani is a ready-made player, and he looks again. Him and Kudus are the two players who look like they've got anything about them, and they're under Frank, so and they're producing. So it can't really be a case of like he can't coach, because there's no evidence of that being the case. And you look at players who were struggling last year, and maybe with the exception of Brennan Johnson, but I really don't think you can say that, because even when he was scoring bags of goals, everybody was talking about his shortcomings. So besides, the two players that are giving results, Tell wasn't producing last year. Odobert wasn't producing last year. He was injured, but he didn't really have even at Burnley, he only had 3 goals. Richarlison has been the point of discourse for Spurs for a long time. The players who were really producing results were Madison, Son, Solanke, and Kulusevski, and they're not available. So when we don't have all of those goals, I think I'll say this, even if Frank ends up being a bust, right now he's the beneficiary of the fact that we have so many injuries, and he's going to be given the benefit of the doubt. And I think rightly so, because we don't have a lot of attacking talent, and that's mainly why we're struggling so much, in my opinion.
Danny?
Yeah, no, I can basically agree with that. Arian made a really good point about the players who are injured at the moment, and I've said it on many different streams. If you look at who scored the goals last season, none of those players are playing. None of them, right? Solanke, Madison, Kulu, and let's not forget Son, because he did contribute quite a bit last season. Even though it was the worst version of Son that we've seen, he still contributed more than what any of our players have contributed right now in this time last season. So you have to take that into account. When you don't have those players, you've got to try and utilize what you've got. But what we've got, in my opinion, they're not good enough. None of them are. That front line, I was listening to Kate and Jimbo, right, yesterday on their show. And I completely agree with what Jimbo was saying. It's what I've been saying for a while. It's probably one of the worst front lines I've ever seen at Spurs as a whole, as a unit, right? If you take Kudus out of there, who in that front line do you actually want to pay money to go and watch at the Spurs Stadium, right? Mido said it himself. He actually said our players are just not good enough. There's no one in that team that makes you think, wow, like he is a footballer. Like he is quality. Like Tottenham, right, over the years, regardless of how bad we've been, we've always had top class players. Always. Through the years, right? We could go back 20 years and talk about the players that we've had in different seasons and how many class players we've had in a team. We've had like 2 or 3 really top players. Right now, in an attacking position, we don't have that at all. So, what I'm seeing now with Thomas Frank is I think he is doing as best as he can, right, with what we've got. I personally believe he can do a lot better if we've got a lot better players, right? Because let's be honest, even last season with Brentford, right, a lot of those mid players in that front line, I take over our front line every single day of the week. Every single day of the week, right? Even Damsgaard, Norgard, all of them players I take right now over what we've got right now. Because we've got too many players, especially in the midfield, right, that do something, but not enough of other things. They do one thing they might be good at, but they're bad at everything else. Like Sarr, right? He's been awful this season, in my opinion. He started well, and he's been poor, right? But again, he doesn't offer enough. He might run around and's got a good engine, but he can't pass a ball. He's not the best at shooting, right? Occasionally he comes up with a goal. And his link-up play is awful, right? He gets flustered too easily. He loses control of the ball too easily in tight positions, right? It's the same for, like, Bentancur. He does all the nice, like, passing around, sideways passing, but that's all it is. It doesn't do enough of what we need in the central midfielder in the modern day of the Premier League today. And this is the problem. We don't have, like, there's so many players that don't do enough of one specific trait that we need or we could utilize, right? Which is why we're not where we are right now. I've said it so many times. Like, you look at Aston Villa, right? Look at their midfield. Their midfield is above a class above ours. Like, they've got really good players like John McGinn, Tielemans. They've got Onana. These players walk into our starting 11, and they've got talent with abundance. Morgan Rogers, all these players, technical, powerful, quick, right? They're all far better than what we have. And, like, as good as Paulinho is, right? My opinion with Paulinho is that he only works when you play with someone who can control a football and who can move the ball. You need, like, a proper ball playing midfielder to play alongside him, because he doesn't work if you don't play with someone who can progress the ball, because he doesn't do that. He's great at cutting the ball out, interceptions, tackling, but he can pass and move, but he needs someone better to actually move that ball forward. And if you haven't got that, and Bentancur's literally doing exactly what he's doing, you've lost the midfield battle already. It's like, and like Arian said, at the top, we haven't got quality that can punish teams. Kudus can't do it by himself, and you can clearly see, even in the game, what was it, the game before Newcastle, right? They were trying to go down the right-hand side all the time. And it was like, it's becoming obvious now what Tottenham how they're going to play. It's like, everyone just give the ball to Kudus, right? And let him do his thing. And it's like, it doesn't work like that. And you could even see Kudus getting frustrated because it's always coming to him. Because whether or not the players don't even trust the other players on the pitch, that's another story. But for me, it doesn't matter who the manager is. I think you bring in another manager, it's going to be the same shit with these players, in my opinion. And I think until we get a core, I don't know. I gave you boys a list of 14 players I think don't deserve to be at this football club and shouldn't be at this football club. And until we start weaving those players out and bringing in the levels of Kudus's, Xavi Simons, Paulinho's, we bring in that type of level of footballer. Like, we bring in like a Neves. You go and get a Morgan Gibbs-White, right? 2 top midfielders who can do what you need to do, right? And that gives you the depth, right? So that if you rotate as well in multiple competitions, then you've got the quality still there. And I think that's a massive problem for Frank. And because, look, Frank is also, there's issues with Frank himself, because we'll get into that after. But I think the biggest problem for me right now is the players. And then there are elements of the manager and how he's setting up. But I do think he's a little bit playing with his hands tied behind his back. But I also feel that he is definitely being less risky. And I believe that's because I feel that he thinks the players are not good enough, and he doesn't trust them enough to do what he wants them to do. And I've seen things that, for me, makes me believe that as well.
I think people are underestimating our player. I mean, you can't. I mean, we had that chat on WhatsApp, and you said, you know, they're 13th, 14th best squad in the league, and I think that's just complete rubbish, to be honest with you, Danny. I'm looking at it, right. These set of players, with the players that you're talking about that scored all those goal contributions, won the Europa League last year, right? You don't have a bad set of squad if you can win a trophy. I'm not saying these pack of squad are world beaters, not at all. But I think, you know, at least we can finish in the top 7 with this group of players that we've got at our disposal. There is no question about it in my mind that if you have a manager that can get the best out of them tactically, they'll perform a lot better. There is no question in my mind when you look at the set of the players, this manager can get more out of them than what they're showing. Pedro Porro, he's been absolutely shocking this season. He's a much better player than what he's showing. Destiny Udogie, last few games, he's been crap. He's much better than what we're showing. I think pretty much every player, apart from Van der Ven, I think a manager can get more out of them if they use them right in a better tactical setup and you know, playing them to their strength a bit more. You're looking at our defence, you know, I don't think we've got a bad player in our defence when you look at Romero, Mickey Van der Ven, Udogie, Porro, even the defensive midfielders. I think Paulinho is a very good defensive midfielder. You've got players around him. Pape Sarr, I think he's much better than what he's showing right now, and I think he's shown that in the past, maybe not consistently, but We're conceding goal after goal. We're ceding chance after chance. We're supposed to be defensive first right now. It's an absolute madness. We're progressing the ball just down one side of the pitch, and I get the left side is nowhere near as strong as the right side, but we've got players in this team that can elevate us to showing more than what we're doing right now. And for me, I don't think the players are good enough to what we want to be: top 4, top 5, Champions League football. But what I do believe is that they're a lot better than what Thomas Frank is getting out of them right now, and I'm certain of that.
But you can I just say, right, 2 things. First of all, if you take away the Europa League win last season, now tell me your opinion on if you think these players are good enough, right?
I still
because
think they're good enough.
everyone
I
keeps
still
going
think they're
back
good.
to.
We wouldn't have finished 17th if we weren't in Europa League.
Yeah,
Here's the
but
thing, right? Here's how you independently. Here's how you independently look at this, right? I pulled this up. We are right now 11th in the Premier League table. Okay, 11th. And that's obviously not probably where we're going to finish. We're probably going to finish somewhere right, it's 7th or 8th, I think. But maybe even higher if things, January, whatever. But you look at this team, right? You look at the front 3 of every team above us. And besides Kudus, you tell me if a single player gets in. Let's start from 10th, right? You've got Everton, who've got Grealish and Jai, and then Barry. You could probably say Colomani gets in ahead of Barry. And I'll tell you right now, that's probably where it ends.
Only probably.
Right? Sure, Colomani gets in ahead of Barry. Now, and by the way, NGI and Kudus is a toss-up, so that might even out anyway. Man United, not a single player gets in.
Yep.
Nope, right? Even Kudus, because Mbeumo's better.
But Ariane, look, I agree with this sentiment, and I've also gone through it, and I think I think our forward, that's what needs the most work in our squad. We're nowhere near the finished product.
So, but here's the thing.
It's not about just our forward players; it's about the whole squad.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Because
of course it's the forward players.
We've talked about this before. I really don't subscribe to this idea. Like, it was the same thing with Ange about his defense. I don't subscribe to the idea that because you have a good defense, your defense is going to be good, or if you have a good attack, your attack's going to be good. It's a team effort. If your team sucks, if one part of your team sucks, the whole team sucks. If you have incredible defenders, but your attackers are poor in every aspect of the game for the most part, you're still going to struggle. Because in the modern game, every player is a defender, every player is an attacker. That's just how it is. Like, footballers are more homogenous than ever. So when your issue is that you've got, for example, Brendan Johnson, who notoriously does not do defensive work, then we're going to concede more attacks off his side, whether he's playing on left or right. Because, irrespective of how well Dougie or Spencer or Poro might be doing in that day. Or whatever. Or the fact that, let's say, Odegaard or Richarlison can't hold on to possession. That puts more pressure on our midfield. Our midfields get ran out, we concede more chances. Little things like that. That is what the difference. Those are the difference makers. That's why a team like Arsenal are so strong, because they can hold possession. Their teams don't get tired. Everyone's on the same page. They press in a whole systemic manner, because every single player is as good as the other. Marino is their most dangerous player. He's a holding midfielder, right? So that's the state of football right now. And when you don't have a good whole squad, like, forget about the fact that our depth is shit. Like, we don't even have time to talk about that. Yeah. Our starting 11 is nowhere near good enough. Yeah. And if you look at, like, in terms of balance, like, forget even about just the front 3 alone. In terms of balance, the level, the discrepancy between how good your defense is to your, like, forward line. Again, Everton as a team, like, their defensive line and their midfield line and their attacking line is probably just as good as each other. Man United, same thing. Liverpool, same thing. Brighton, same thing. Sunderland, for sure, the same thing. Crystal Palace, Chelsea, Villa, Man City. So these teams legitimately, besides Sunderland, and even then, because they had a wonderful window, so it's a toss-up, besides Sunderland and Everton, you could legitimately make the case that every single one of these teams has a significantly better squad than us. So why should we expect to finish above them?
I don't agree with you, Ariad. I don't agree with you.
Break it down. What team doesn't have a better squad than us?
I don't agree as well, the sentiment that everyone in the top 10 has a better front line than us in terms of players. I don't agree with that sentiment.
I think
as well.
they do.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't have a better front line than us?
Yeah.
Brighton have better strikers on paper than us. Does Sunderland have better strikers?
Matoma.
What about Matoma?
You're telling me that a front 3 of Mitoma, Minte, and Welbeck is worse than what we have?
Yes.
Better than what we've got.
What, Kudus, Mwani? You think if Kudus and Mwani played for Brighton, they wouldn't be killing it? Don't joke with me.
No, Kudus and Rouhani are better players.
Yeah, that's
I
your
agree.
front three.
But the
If
fact-
you
but
think
here's the thing, the fact-
Xavi Simons was playing for Brighton, he wouldn't be much better. You think you don't
Maybe.
think if they played in the attacking system, it would be much better?
I think Xavi Simmons is going to come good.
Sunderland have a better front
here's
three
the-
than us. The Sunderland have a better front three than us.
Sunderland's the only one you can make a case.
The
to.
Palace have a better front
Sunderland,
three than
okay.
us. The Sunderland have a
Easily.
better-
It's not even close, Palace.
So
have a better
what?
front three than us.
So Mateta gets in. Who else?
Mateta gets in. Pino gets in.
Pino.
Easily.
Does he?
Pino's
Over our left wing?
playing better than what we've got right now.
Does
Yeah.
Kudus get in for them?
Sure. I said besides
does
Kudus,
Simmons get in for them?
Kudus is the only player we have that even gets into like 8 of these teams.
Yeah.
You don't. You don't think if some of our players were playing for Palace, maybe we'd be performing better?
They would, but again, here's the thing. But I'm telling you, part of the reason for that is because they've got a more balanced squad, and also, and this is what I'm saying, the reason that Brighton's front three is better than ours is because they've got Mitoma on the left, and we've
but
got
guys,
either Odegaard or Simmons.
Okay,
And
there's one
and-
thing saying that. The fact of the matter is, right, we are 18th for expected goals per game. 18th. So are we the 18th worst attack in the league?
No.
Is that what you think? So that's what we're
I don't
performing
think so.
like at the moment. That's how we're performing. That's the amount of chances you create. That's what we're providing for our strikers is the 18th lowest in the whole Premier League.
Sure.
The likes of Wolves are higher, Fulham are higher, West Ham, Forest, Leeds. Are all of their attacks? Are all their teams much more geared up to creating chances than us? Is that what we're saying?
No.
So,
But I think you
how
wanna look
can
at
we
chance
judge this
creation.
attack? How can we judge this attack as harshly as we are when they're getting absolutely dog shit? Kind of the system is creating nothing for them. They're getting no service. The attackers, the strikers, are barely getting a shot a game. We're basically crossing the ball 30 times a game and hoping that's going to be a good enough kind of way forward or way to attack to score goals against his team. Basically, it's give it to Kudus and Porro and try and get a crossing. That's all we have, and it's not because the rest of the players are bad. Because Odegaard has actually been quite good in recent games, and when he has played, he's actually
Wasn't good in
improved.
one game. Odegaard's
No,
been
he-
good
one
in
game.
If you look at the stats, he's been one of our better attackers this season. He hasn't got a look in.
same stats.
Xavi Simons is barely getting a look in the moment. He hasn't started 4 games in a row. He's our most creative
Right.
player. He's our biggest creator.
Yeah.
He's our best technician, and he's not getting a look in. Whose fault is that? Why is he not playing? Is it because he's just rubbish and then
Right.
he's not
I'll
playing?
tell you right
or
now.
is it
I'll tell
because
you.
Frank can't get the best out of him at the moment?
Right.
The way we're set up at the moment. There is no ball progression through the centre. We're doing the same thing every single game. We're barely creating a chance. We've created.
But why is it we can't
three? No,
progress
we've
the ball
created the
through
3 lowest XG
don't
totals in the
try.
whole league. In the whole season, for
players
everyone,
are
not
not-
just
they
Tottenham.
can't do
and
it.
This is for so we're the worst. So we're the worst.
I think our players don't have confidence, Sim. They don't have confidence in themselves.
Why don't they have confidence?
Because they don't like to play under pressure and stress. It's like the same thing we heard under Conte. Our players, look how cowardice they
You
are
think
at our
Frank
stadium.
is the type of
It's
manager who's
They
putting
are,
pressure
they are
and stress?
scared
That's a
of playing at
cop-out.
home.
That's a cop
They are
out.
scared of playing at home, Sim. Why do you think we play better away from home? We play better away from home because it isn't the pressure
We
for
don't
home
really
fans.
play better away from home. We just get a bit
But
more
we
lucky
do.
and we're more
We do,
solid.
though.
We don't.
No,
do we
no,
attack
we
more?
do.
we attack more? Do we create
So-
more chances? We don't.
We have done. So
The
are we
stats
saying?
say
Are we
we
gonna
don't.
sit
The
here-
stats say we
are
don't.
We gonna, what? Show me. I want to see the stats because what I've
Okay.
seen away from home this season.
I'm telling you.
we have played
away-
better away
at
at home. Away from home.
At home, we've created 6 XG per.
I don't want to talk about
And away
XG.
from home,
Sim.
we're talking about
Not
chances
XG.
created. We're talking about
Not
chances
XG.
created.
I'm talking about how many shots
I'm
that
saying
we've
we're
had.
getting more.
How many
okay,
chances
shots,
we had?
I don't know about
Not
shots.
expected goals or expected chances.
Expected
I
goals
want
is
the
a more
actual
accurate. Is more
chances.
accurate than shots. That's a more accurate
No,
metric.
Look at the actual stats for chances created. That's what you have to look at. Not how much we expect to create and how much we expect to score. That's a
That is
fucking
it. That is
ridiculous
chances
stat
created.
anyway.
That is chances created. XG is chances created. That's what it is.
Expected
the best.
goals.
Yeah, from what you create. That is what expect. You don't understand
No,
what
no,
it
no,
means.
no, 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 no.
You don't
I
understand
don't-
what
no,
expected
no.
goal means. You don't
No,
understand it.
But no. A chance, Sim, is when a player puts a ball into someone, right, and they
Yeah.
have a chance to score a goal. And
Correct.
expected. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they're going to score that goal, and it shouldn't be deemed as expected goal because it doesn't mean
You're just
that you
hung up on the
expect
term.
to score a goal.
The expected
No,
goals
all
means the chances you create. That's what expected
no,
goals
all
means.
No, all you need to do is look at chances, not fucking expected goals.
That is it,
Danny,
chances.
Danny.
That is
XG,
chances.
XG is a measurement of
How good your chances
yeah,
are.
exactly.
That's
Right.
what
No,
it is.
I don't care about XG. It's a fucking stupid
So
stat.
you don't care
All
about
I care
XG, but
about
you care
is
about chances
what-
created when they're-
what
that's the same
chances-
stat.
Right. If
That's the
Bentancur
same
puts
stat.
the ball to Richarlison, that's
Yeah.
a chance, right?
Yeah.
That's not what expected goals are.
Yes, it is. That's what it is.
How is it expected goals? That's called
You
a
don't
chance,
understand.
mate.
Expected goals, all it does is measures how good the chances are that you create. That's what it is.
No,
That's the
I
stat.
don't care. I don't care about
It's just
how
cause
good the
it's called
chance is.
expected goals. You don't
I don't
like it,
care
that's
about
it.
how good the chance is. A chance in football is a fucking chance. When I used to play football, right, if someone passes me the ball and I'm in front of goal, I've got a chance to score a goal. It's not about how
Right.
good the
Yeah, but
chance actually is.
some chances are higher quality than the others, and some are more likely
Yeah,
to
I
score
don't
from
care
than
about
another
that. They're
one.
professional footballers.
Yeah,
Who
but that's
cares about
real-
the quality
So
of
a
the
shot
chance?
from 30
A
yards
chance
is
a
better
chance.
than a shot in the box. Is that what you're saying? A shot
You
from
know.
30, a shot from
Look,
30
Sim,
yards is the same
I
as
will
a shot
never
from in the
get
box.
behind expected goal statistics. I think it's the most pointless statistic in football. It
But you
really
care,
is.
so you don't care about but you just said you do care about chances
I
created.
care about chances created. Look
That
at the
is the
stats for
same
how many.
stat.
Right,
It's
you
the
know,
same thing.
no. If you look at the XG Spurs have got this season, look at the chances created, you'll see different statistics.
Yes, because all XG does is
This
measures
is
how
what I'm
good.
saying.
Yeah, but it measures how good the chances are. That's all it does.
I don't care about how good the chance is. You're not understanding what I'm saying. I don't give a
Why?
fuck if the chance is a good chance or a bad chance. A chance is a chance.
So a
That's
shot
all
from
it is.
so for you, a shot from 30 yards is the same as a one-on-one with
If
the
a
keeper.
player
Is that what
has
you're
the
saying? Wait,
ball-
is that what you're saying? A shot from
What?
30 yards is the same as a one-on-one with the keeper. Is that what you're saying?
That's a chance. It's a
So
chance.
so you are saying that a shot from
do you
30
want
yards
to
out.
look? Do you want to look in the
So
dictionary?
is that what you're saying,
chance
Danny?
means, Sim?
Is that what you're saying, Danny? A shot
you
from
wanna have a
30
look?
yards out. Just say it. A shot from
Yes,
30 yards
a
out.
chance
A
is
shot
a
from 30.
chance.
So a shot from 30 yards out is the same as
If
a
a
one-on-one with the
player
keeper.
passes
Is that
the
what you're
ball,
saying?
I don't give a fuck if the chance is a good chance or a bad chance. It's a chance.
So you are saying
I
that.
don't care about expected
you are-
goals.
so you are
I care
saying
about
that.
chances created.
So you are saying
Oh
that.
my
A shot
goodness.
from 30 yards is the same as a one-on-one with the keeper. You are saying that. Just to get it clear on the record.
Say again.
A shot from 30 yards is exactly the same as a one-on-one with the keeper.
A chance is a chance. It doesn't
Right.
matter what chance is.
I-
Chance
I-
is a chance.
I can't get behind that. I can't get behind that.
It's
Sorry.
fine. You go with your stupid expected goal stats.
And you go hard saying you're just as likely to
I
score
will,
a
a
30-yard
chance is a
shot
chance.
than a one-on-one with the keeper. So
A chance
wait.
is a chance.
A 30-yard, a
Chance
shot
is
from
a
the
chance.
halfway line is the same as a tap-in on the goal line. Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm
Well,
saying.
that's what expected goals measures.
Expected goals is a bullshit statistic, and I will never
Okay.
get behind expected goals. It's an absolute fallacy of a
All right,
statistic.
let's move on from this XG.
Forget that. In terms of at home versus away from home, we are scoring more goals away from home. But in terms of the chance we're
Are we?
creating, yeah, we are. But we're creating the same amount of chances. We're just getting a bit more lucky, to be honest. We're overperforming what we should be.
every goal we score is lucky. Then, Sim, is that what
Or
you're
look
saying?
at Romero's overhead kick. That wasn't lucky.
He still scored.
Yeah, he scored great, but we got a bit lucky.
Oh, so
That's it.
so every goal we Tottenham score, it's luck, right? And every goal.
every
What
goal.
are we
the other
getting
team
into?
scores
What are we
Not
getting
every
into?
goal.
This is not productive.
All I'm talking
It's definitely
about,
not productive.
All I'm talking about,
This is not productive.
Our players, all right, are a lot better than what you say they are. They're a lot better. We have a good squad. We do have good
I don't
players
think
in
so.
our team.
But
We
based
are.
no, but Sim, legitimately based on what?
Based
And
on
here's
what?
the problem.
Okay,
Here's
okay.
the problem with saying
Who-
the
Yeah.
Europa League win because they weren't even the ones playing.
They were. They're the ones who were playing in the Europa League.
No, Odegaard didn't play. Simmons didn't play. Richarlison played for a half in the final and he didn't score.
And he also played in the semis, and we were all praising his performances.
And he didn't score.
It doesn't matter if he scored or not. We were still
Of
praising
course
his
it matters.
performances.
Madison and
Well, it's a
Solanke.
striker that doesn't score.
My point is, we are much
Madison
better.
didn't play either. Madison didn't play the final.
No, but you said semifinal, so I said Madison scored in the semifinal.
Okay,
Yeah,
forget
he
that.
scored.
Forget that. Doesn't matter. The important thing is, right? We might not be the best attack in the Premier League. We might not be up there with the top teams with our attack. But we are better than what we're showing. We're better than 18th.
Sure.
We are-
And here's the thing, Sam.
And that's
the
my
wonderful
point.
thing.
We can't
The
create a
wonderful
chance at the
thing-
moment.
Here's the thing.
And how's that
Here's
not
the-
on the manager?
Here's the thing, right? It can be both. And I
Yeah,
said
look,
that.
I agree with that.
The very first thing I said was, I'm not saying that the manager's not doing anything wrong, but if you made me pick, if you said you have to replace one, the first thing I'm doing is going after the players. Because at the end even if they're better, like Odobert, and here's the thing, Sim, like Odobert has played one good game, right? Like at the end of the day, and I know you're gonna say this stat here, this that. Odobert's always been a flashes and moments player, and he had one good game. And I know there's a game here where he gets a sub and he gets the ball and does something nice. Ta-da, nothing happens, right? So at the end of the day, he's not consistent enough for me to rely on him. And I'm sure, and I've seen enough to say, look, he's probably going to be a tidy player down the line. He's probably going to be useful down the line, but not right now, right? Simmons, obviously, we know he's talented. I think he's eventually going to come good, even if it's not under Frank. If Frank gets sacked next week, like at some point, this kid is clearly talented. He's done it at the biggest stages. He knows how to do it. Even when he plays, you can see the flashes. Same kind of thing with Odobert with him. Like he's shown enough to show that he's clearly a good player. Maybe you have to unlock him. Frank should be doing better. Maybe he should be playing him more. My opinion is you should be playing Simmons no matter what. And if he's shit, you play him again. And if he's shit, you play him again. That's really my take on it, because that's the kind of player he is. Some players you just have to play no matter what because they need rhythm, right? But also, the thing I'm gonna really fall back on when it comes to the argument with the manager is Frank's reputation wasn't even that he was like a pragmatic defensive coach. That isn't what he even was, right? Nuno was that. When we got, and the reason I'm making news because Nuno's always the parallel people draw to, and I really have a problem with that because the two things: Nuno had Kane and Son, and prime Son, the best Son we've ever seen, which right, that's what Nuno had, and Frank has Odobert on the same side, and I'm picking out Odobert, but it's just like he's a good player, but he's just not right.
You just say he's a good player.
Like he's a good talent, but he's not anywhere near.
But isn't
the level
Frank has come in because he improves players, right? He makes players better.
But here's this I'm telling you, right? This I'm telling you. Frank, his reputation wasn't that like he's this really defensive. He'll play this like cagey football. He'll grind it out at 1-0. Nuno was that, and we brought him in, and it didn't work because Nuno has never coached attacking football in his life. Frank, on the other hand, has coached when he was the dominant side in the championship, and I really don't like using that because it's not really that relevant to the Premier League.
People say Nuno did when he was at Valencia, played attacking football.
Right? He didn't. Nobody didn't. Nuno legitimately did not. It's like if I tell you that like Sunderland are an attacking team because they have good counterattacks. It's not the same thing, right? Frank was one of the most. Remember the thing that they did where like they blitzkrieged you in like the first minute and they scored like in the first minute like 3 games in a row. Like Frank has a reputation of being this like a coach who coaches these deadly attacks in a team that's going to punch up. So it's not like he doesn't know how to coach an attack. He doesn't have that reputation. So I just don't believe that narrative that he can't coach an attack. And it'd be one thing, right? You can see this with coaches where they'll have a really, really good like group of staff around them, and it's a whole unit, and you take the main guy out, but without their staff, they're kind of a fish out of water. But that's not even what's happening here. He took his whole backroom staff with him, and I just can't subscribe to the belief that all of these people overnight forgot how to coach attackers. There's no way. And again, the reason I can see that is because the players we have that have something about them, even the players who I would say didn't, like I did not rate Odobert and Tell whatsoever coming into the season, and I've seen them improve. So it's not like they're not improving, but they're just like if you bring someone up from here to here, but the level's here, like that's where we are. Like yeah, I think he is improving these attackers individually, right? Besides Simmons, who's really been the only player like we've been underwhelmed and you'd say dropped off from where you kind of saw him when you did see him, because obviously in the Premier League, but he was much better than this in Euros, right? Odobert's improved, Tell's improved, Kudus has improved, and I guess like Johnson and Richarlison are kind of exactly where they left off, and I think those are the players that everybody would point to before the season even started and say they just don't have anything about them, right? So, and Kolomwani came in, he's been great. So you want to look at an individual thing. I don't think individually these players have even been performing that badly. And you're gonna say, and I know you're gonna say next, you're gonna say, here's the kicker, they're not getting enough chances. And here's the thing, exactly. I agree. Right? I agree. And I would say my biggest criticism of Frank, by far, was extending Bentancur's contract. There was no reason to do that.
Yeah.
It was the worst decision he's made, right? And that, I think when the problem starts and ends a little bit with just how bad our midfield is. Palhinha is, every time he plays, he's the best player on the ball in the midfield. That's the biggest problem we have. Every time Palhinha has the ball, he looks better on it than when like Bentancur or Sarr is. Like, so when Paulinho is your best ball playing midfielder, you've got a massive fucking problem. And when Simmons can't step up to it, and when Bergval's not feeling it, which some games he's really not, like on Newcastle, I think he was really good, but there's some games where Bergval's not performing, and we don't
But
have.
he's misprofiling Bergval. He's not playing him in his
Yeah,
best position.
yeah, he is. And I think the biggest problem with Frank is that he's misprofiling our midfielders. I do not think he has a problem coaching the attackers individually. And I can kind of sit here and say I hope it gets better. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But that is where the problem starts and ends. And maybe, hopefully, like we don't know, but also the personnel isn't that good, right? Besides Paulinho, who's not a ball progression. Like, in terms of ball progression, Bergval and Simmons are the two options we have. Sar's never been that, right? Bentancur's never been that. Paulinho's never been that. None of these players have been that. And when when Simmons and Bergval aren't consistently performing, right? And I think that's kind of why he's it's almost not even misprofiling. When he's not using Simmons, he needs somebody in the 10. It has to be Bergval. Who else is it going to be, right? You know what I'm saying? Maybe Autobert, but he's not physical enough to play there. So it becomes one of those things. So, like, for what
he needs to persist with Simmons. That's what he needs to do.
I
he
agree.
needs to get him acclimatized to the Premier League.
I told you. In my opinion, Simmons should play every game. When he's shit, he should play again. When he's dog shit, he should play again. When he's awful, he should play again. When he's the worst player on the pitch, he should play again.
100%.
Right? That's my opinion. But, it's also a results game. Like, what does it look like on Frank? I believe that. But not everybody believes that. So if you're the owner, or if you're a fan, or if you're anybody, and you see Simmons is shit, why is he playing him again? Like, we're going to be asking those questions. Because guess what? If he does that, do you think people don't come in here and say, why doesn't he try Odobert? Why is he not playing Bergval? Why doesn't he play a different system? Like, people are going to say that too. So it is kind of a lose-lose game in a results business. So you have to recognize that when you're going to talk about these things. So again, that's why I'm going to always default to the fact that, like, he is going to, until Kulusevski comes back and is fit, he's going to get the benefit of the doubt, right? Like, I think Kulusevski will be so perfect.
You can't rely on one player to revolutionize the whole team.
I get that, but that would be another option. Until he has more than 1.5 attacking 10s, like, you can't say, like, not that you can't, but no decisions.
I'm sorry, I can't sit here and say I don't expect this team to create a single chance until Kulusevski comes back. I just can't buy into that. We're not creating anything. We're 18th in the league for chances created. We're 18th. That is unacceptable right now. Even for the you're saying they're not good enough. The set of attackers are a lot better than that. Loads better than
Sim,
that.
Sim, to debate that, right? How are we the fifth best team in the league for goals scored and fourth best team for assists in the league?
Look, because we get a few goals from transition.
The only so in
Kudus.
goals, just to say in goals, the only teams that have scored more than us are Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea, and Brighton, right? Every other team in the league has scored less goals than us.
Yeah,
and
because we're massively overperforming our chances created. We're massive, and it's reverting.
Okay.
And it's been reverting because our attackers aren't so bad.
But if we look at the assists, right, as well, only Man City, Arsenal, and Chelsea have got more assists than us, right?
Okay, but that's such a bad metric. You're saying what? Someone's gonna pick up the ball in the halfway line and just dribble to the goal. That doesn't happen. Almost.
No, what I'm saying is the chart that they're far more in terms of the chances that we do have. We seem to take more of the chances we do have than we don't, right? Our problem is we don't create enough chances.
Yeah, but Danny, we've been scoring goals. Richarlison's been scoring from the halfway line, and Romero scored a 100 overhead
one goal.
kick.
Is that what we're going to judge it on? Richarlison scoring from the halfway line.
But that's the goals that we've been scoring recently. That's half the goals we've scored in the last few weeks.
It's why we're not good enough, Ben. We've got players like Richarlison who don't.
But you're just disproving your point. You're disproving your point. Our players are making a lot with a little because we're creating so little, and they're doing a lot with it because it's actually not bad.
I think our players are doing more than what they are. Right, in terms of they are performing better than what they are capable of performing.
No, they're performing a lot worse. They're performing a lot worse.
Ben, this team finished 17th last year.
This team finished 17th. Half the team was injured for the whole season.
And who's injured now?
But to be fair,
we've got more injuries. We've got more injuries than any other team in Europe. Look, Arian, we've got more injuries than any other team in Europe. In Europe's top 5 leagues, we are the most injury-ridden team at the moment in Europe, right? And the 5 players who scored and assisted last season more than anyone else, they either left the club or they're injured. So how do we expect to be doing better than what we're doing? It
We
doesn't
have
make
Here's the thing,
sense.
when you
we
say
have
everybody
Simmons,
was
we
injured-
have Mawani, we have talent there. We have Bergval. We
Who's
have
the
players
talent?
who can.
Bergval.
I just
Where's
named
the
it to you.
But
Kudus,
where's the proof that
Simmons,
Bergval is going to
Mawani.
give us goals and assists him? Where's the
He
proof?
can create. We've seen it last season.
No,
He's
he
a
can't.
good player.
Oh my God.
He's a
Let's
good
look at
player.
the actual stats,
so
right?
he's not a good player. He's not a good
I'm
player.
gonna get something up for you. I'm
Here's
gonna
the
show
thing,
you.
right?
He's not. He
Here's the
doesn't
thing.
provide. I'm not expecting him to provide goal contributions. I'm expecting him.
But you can't
to
just say
provide
something based on
quality.
opinion if you don't look at it factually.
What? What am I saying?
Bergval doesn't create. He's good at forward runs. He doesn't create.
So he's misprofiling him. Whereas Simmons does provide goals and
But
assists.
again, it goes
Mawani
back to
should.
my point,
Kudus
Sim.
can.
It goes back to my point that we've got players that can do. They're good at one thing, but they can't do the other things, and that's the problem. And so
Like
if you
what?
put Sarr in, Sarr's gonna run the game, run it non-stop running, right? But what else is he gonna do? Bergval, he can take the ball and drive forward, but does nothing else with it. So again, you
true.
lose something. That's the stats. Look at the stats.
He's.
You
I
wanna
told
talk
you, he's our
about
best
stats?
midfielder for
Do you
progressive
know what?
passes this season.
I'm
He's
gonna
our
get
best
it up. I'm
midfielder
gonna
for
get it up for
progressive
you.
passes this
I'll
season.
get it
He's
up.
our
I'll
best
get it up.
midfielder.
Ariane,
Okay,
for you, Ariane, where does this squad rank in the Premier League? Where? Tell me where this team should finish.
I think if we finish below 8th, it's an underperformance.
That's exactly my argument. I said this team should be finishing in the top 7. This squad that we've
Yeah.
got. That's exactly what I said. So
I think we're
don't.
going to probably finish around there anyway. I don't think we're going to end up finishing lower than that.
The point was the reason I was going at Danny because he thinks 13th or 14th is where this squad should be, and I'm
No, I
thinking
think
like
if
this
we-
is
if we-
mental.
If we finish 8th, right, I think that's a very good season for this squad. I don't
not.
think we should be expecting to finish better. I honestly don't.
I think like if like a good season, like this team, it would be. It's hard to say because like seasons are long and there's January windows and like players will come out of nowhere and go away, like, you know what I mean? So it's hard to say, but like if this team finished 5th, that wouldn't be like the most outlandish thing that's happened ever. Like, it could happen.
Agreed.
Right?
Exactly.
So this system can work, and I think like when we're all talking about it, right? The midfield is just such a big issue. You look at like I think our best ever performance, like this season, like our best performance by a landslide this season was Brighton away, right? Brighton away. We were so good. We had no right losing that game, right? Or not losing. It feels like a loss. It was a draw. And it was because that was the game where we had that 10. Like, we had the midfield progression. When we have that and we're firing, you can see the individuals. Like, individually, I don't think the coaching staff is lacking. I think, like, if you actually look one, like, player at a time, skill set, right? Like, if you put a player in a lab, and you're like, has he gotten better at this X, Y, and Z? Like, I think most of our players have gotten better at whatever it is they weren't good at, right? But the problem is when you're trying to move as a unit, you need you're only as strong as your weakest link, and when your weakest link is the heart of the team, then you got even more problems. So, right, when Xavi was on it that game, he came off the bench and he was just on it. He was cutting through them, everything. We were looking great, and even like against Newcastle. He came on. I thought he looked very bright, and I thought we looked better. Against Man United, Otterberg comes on, and he kind of assumes that role, right? So like, there's when we get that player in the odd game here and there, where they really kind of take control of the ball progression, and we can really do it. I think we look really good, which is a positive sign. The negative is just how rare it is because of how. Like, you know, it is on Frank. The players clearly aren't confident. The technical floor is so low. It's so incredibly low. Like, when we're bad, we're terrible. We're shambolic. And that's like, it's like the ceiling. The problem is the gap between the floor and the ceiling. Like when we're good, we're honestly so very, very good. Like we're not just like we're very good. Like, we're very threatening when we're on it. But it happens so like rarely. And the opposite is so bad, it's as bad as it is common. Like it's all the time, and it's unwatchable. So it kind of sucks. It's one of those, right? But the positive is more players come in. Like when Kula comes in, right? when Kulu comes in, I'm not saying, again, obviously it's stupid. Like I think the one thing that I've learned over the 5.5 or 6 years that I've been watching this team is every single time I've been like, this player is gonna come back and it's gonna be better. Not one time has that been the case.
Never works out.
It literally has never been the case. Like, besides Harry Kane being injured, that's the only time it works, right? Every other time, I'm like, oh, when he's back, we're gonna be on. Like, that's not what I'm saying. But when Kulu comes back, maybe having more options, having that diversity is going to be just him coming back and training, right? Maybe it's just going to be something that Xavi can work off. And then maybe in January we can bring in somebody else. Like if we got a Gibbs White, like not in January, but like had we gotten a Gibbs White, this season looks so different in my opinion. Because I think he's the player. He's got the physicality. He's got the experience. He's got the goals, right? But we got Xavi, who needs to catch up in speed, who needs to do all those things. And I think that's hurting us so much. And also, again, another one, like Kudus playing at that. There was a few spurts where like Kudus got moved to the 10 or you assume the role of the 10. And again, when he's progressing the ball, like we look good. If we can progress the ball individually, I think we have it, right? And you were mentioning, obviously, like we're being so clinical with our chances, which again can be positive and an individual aspect. So I think that the stuff is there, and that's why broadly, like overall, I'm not looking at Frank and saying he's been a total catastrophe failure. He's not done anything, right? But I think as a team, that progression has just been so poor that it literally undermines anything else. Like it doesn't even matter how good anything else is. When the progression is that bad, nothing matters. Like legitimately, that is problem number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 100. And it looks, I don't want to say it looks worse than it is, but it might make it seem like there are more problems than there are. You know what I mean?
I just feel like, I think, as you say, if we're pinning for one player to change our whole attack, I think it's a bit of a fool's errand. Obviously, we don't know what's going on with Solanke and we know what's going on with Maddison, but Solanke, I don't know what the hell has happened there. That's a bit of a worry. But for me, we can say all these things. Oh, when we're on it, we look good, which has basically been a game and a half in how many games we had this season? Like 20 games. Yeah. Like we've really. You can't really point to that little amount and say that's representative of who we are, rather than the.
I'm not saying it is, not even close.
But the problem is how, like, in terms of since Frank has come, we have gotten worse going forward. We're pretty much just as bad defensively according to the stats. Not only are we worse going forward, but we've gone from a decent attacking team to one of the worst in the league. Like literally in the relegation zone for our attacking metrics, apart from goals scored. But fair enough. But that's mostly because we're massively outperforming our attacking numbers. We're creating the least amounts. Some of the attacks that are creating more than us.
I blame the month of November. To be honest with you, I blame the month of November.
Yeah, but we can blame the calendar all we want.
It's the calendar, man. If it was like in December, everything's gonna be different. Watch.
The mentality of the team is clearly risk averse. We're clearly a team that doesn't want to take risks, albeit Frank has always said not to take risks is to take risks.
Yeah, you can see he's one of the most adventurous managers ever. He's taking so many risks every game.
I wish he was, but the midfield.
He's not taking any risks.
It's so true. The midfielders are just passing it sideways. They've got no kind of ambition to play through the centre. They've got no ambition for any forward progression. We've got one plan at the moment when we're going forward, and sometimes it works. Always a set piece, which we kind of make the most of. Which that has, by the way, dried up. And actually, the numbers on that,
we haven't scored a set piece in
the numbers on that as well. By the way, we create the least per corner in the Premier League, one of the least. So actually, again, that's another metric we've been getting lucky in a lot of the season, rather than some of the other teams who actually create a lot more than us. So he actually, when it comes to on the pitch, in the first 14 games in the league, I haven't seen much improvement whatsoever, apart from maybe you could argue set pieces. Apart from that, there is nothing in this team that he has got us doing well. And I know it's early in the project. I know you have to I want to give him time. And as I'm saying, I don't think we should sack him. I'm going to give him time to get these things right. But there is enough of a sample size to judge on what we're seeing, regardless of injuries and regardless of who he has missing. I'm not interested in who he has missing. I'm interested in who he has available. And who he has available is a good set of players, all internationals who play well for their and start, a lot of them for their international teams, good international teams. But a lot of them signed for big money from who we're all excited about in the summer, right? So that's who he has available at his disposal. Much better team than he had at Brentford, in my opinion. And the trends are downwards. We're getting worse defensively. We've always been pretty bad for the whole season going forward. We're in the relegation zone when it comes to the amount of chances we are creating. We're actually near the bottom of the league now for the amount of chances we're giving up. And for me, I don't see how you can't see this as a managerial issue more than a player issue. The players are not as bad as what you're saying. We have a good set of players. We have players who start for Holland, start for Spain, start for Argentina, are in the France squad, was signed for 50 million and in the Dutch team, right? We signed 50 million from West Ham and start for Ghana. We have a lot of good players in this squad who would definitely be challenging, who could easily be playing for teams above us, in my opinion. And so to say that this squad is no better than what we are seeing right now, I just don't see how you can argue that point with any reality, in my opinion.
That's it. That's case closed. That's it. Debate done. Surely. Like, how can you argue against that, Danny? How?
Because I want to bring up something to show you otherwise.
Go on.
I've tried to. I don't know if Sammy can put it on screen.
Yeah, I can put it on.
But it's just some statistics for this season.
Is this data MB?
Yes, this is data MB. Yeah.
Okay. So these are not per 90 metrics. These are just total metrics.
Total metrics. Yeah, these are total metrics.
Per 90s are more accurate. Just saying. But anyway.
Yeah, well, I can show you that as well. But can you see the screen? I don't know if you can see it or not.
I can see. I don't know what I'm looking at, but I can see something.
You gotta scroll up so you know what color is what player.
Yeah, I'm going to. I will. Right. So you see here, right? You've got forward passes, progressive passes, right? Who do you think these players are? Now there's three Spurs players and one other player.
Can you send it to us on WhatsApp so we can look? Because I can't really see it on the screen.
Yeah, I tell you what. Let me do this, right? I was gonna say if you can see it on the screen or not. Let me send it.
Make it full screen.
But this goes to show you how bad our progressive passes are and our forward passes are, right, compared to other midfielders in the Premier League. And for me, I just believe that's a quality issue, not a managerial issue.
Tactically, we are not trying to progress the ball through the middle. That is an instruction from Thomas Frank. We are going down the flanks and we're asking Kudus to be Lionel Messi and take on their whole team. That is our whole strategy of attack.
So basically, then what you're saying is that Frank is not good enough for Spurs.
I'm not saying Frank is not good enough for Spurs. I'm saying what we've seen so far has not been good enough for Spurs. Yes.
Right, but you still don't believe that that's something to do with the players.
I've told you that I don't think the players are good enough to get us in the top 4, but I think they are good enough to get us in the top 7.
But is that what we want?
I think Frank's
Spurs fans.
It doesn't matter what we want. This is where we're at. You're saying we're only good to finish 13th or 14th. I'm saying that
I
is
think we'll
complete
finish
rubbish.
mid-table. I think honestly, I think we'll finish.
You
mid-table.
said on WhatsApp the other day, 13th, 14th is where we're at. That's what you said.
Right now, because we were in the league at that time, right before we got the point, right?
I'm talking about in terms of we were talking about in terms of quality of player that we have in this squad.